Hi guys, in Pura Vida from Palmares, Costa Rica. This is the first episode on my channel Bushcraft Costa Rica, and today what I'm going to start is kind of a series on the River Trakker knife. While looking through YouTube, when I started thinking about purchasing this blade, didn't see a whole lot of in-depth videos on it, except maybe for Forest Mantis, and I'll put a link to his videos in the description. He went really well in depth, but most of the other ones are kind of an overview. And I spent about 6 months reading up and studying about the Trakker or the WSK designs, and during that is how I came to the conclusion to buy the River Trakker, and it's the only WSK that I have ever purchased. I've had it since November of 2018, and so I've been using it for about a year and a half or so now. Really like the blade, and so we'll go ahead and bring it up. And this is mine, and like I said, it was a River is one who makes it. It's out of A2 steel. I'm not a steel guru. I just know it stays sharp for a good long time, and it's easy to resharpen. Blade's very thick. It's 0.265 inches, so it's actually over a 1/4 inch thick, which is thicker than the tops and thicker than even the first and second generation Dave Beck. This portion of the blade right here, they call it the drawing portion, is for finer work, and on the River Trakker it's 2.5 inches across from here to here, and then from the point of the quarter round you see right here to the point of the blade is another 4.5 inches. That section there is one of the reasons why I chose River, because I came from using a kukri a lot whenever I was camping, and so I was used to chopping, and the River seemed to have the longest area that was designed just for the chopping. The latest generation of Dave Becks have actually extended about I think about a 1/2 inch here, so they're within, I think they're within a 1/2 inch of the full size of this now. So this part right here is called the quarter round, and that's really one of the main features that makes a Trakker or a WSK what it is. That quarter round section, I think, initially was being used as maybe a gut hook. Now, I've never tried that. I do know that the quarter round is absolutely fantastic for getting curls out of wood, and I'll be posting videos about that. You can slide this along the top of a branch. You split a limb and slide that along the inside, and you'll get the most beautiful curls. So easy to start with the ferro rod. One thing about any of the Trakker or WSK wilderness survival knife designs that you'll see is that quarter round, which is that piece right there. And that little hook, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Black, who runs a YouTube channel, Operational Extras, I think was the first person to come up with this, maybe not, that hook can be used to get these beautiful curls. Now of course you can do it with other knives as well, but it's just so easy with a Trakker. that's to me one of the big advantages. This section of the blade here on the Bark River is hollow ground. I don't know if that's any more or better than a V grind or a saber ground for this. It doesn't really matter because I sharpen mine convex, and I'll have a video on that later on too. Like I said, I'm going to do a series, but it stays nice and sharp, and it's great for fine work. And if you look at, like, if you go to Knives Ship for Free, or I think it's DLT Trading, they'll have Bark River Trakkers on occasion for sale, and you'll see mine looks different. And the reason is mine is modified. I've done it a lot myself. Now, the one thing I did do was I sent, before I ever actually touched this knife, I sent it back to Bark River, and I had them put a full convex on the blade, or at least as high as they could get. And Gabe Humphreys, who also runs a fantastic YouTube channel, and is one of the reasons I actually bought one of these. Thanks, Gabe. One of the critiques he had on his Bark River was that he kind of wished they had brought the edge up some on a convex. So I'm going to turn this, and maybe it'll catch the light correctly. But what Bark River did, and they did it for free, they reground the front chopping section, and I have a wonderful, nice convex edge, which, I mean, everybody's got their preferences, but this is mine. And so anyway, so it's got the convex edge here, and you'll notice on the quarter round, on the Bark Rivers, there's almost a straight shoulder that goes from here down. It was functional, but it wasn't very aesthetically pleasing to me, and also I was wondering if I could make it a little bit more functional. So I took a round diamond stone, I think it's just about the size of a thick pencil, and I just ground that down. The A2 steel is hard, but it's not crazy hard, and I was able to shape all of this out, and it works wonderfully. I absolutely adore how easy curls are to get with that quarter round. The other thing I did, like I said, this top is 2.65 inches thick. I have a flat diamond stone, and I put the spine on the flat diamond stone like this, and I flattened the top to where it has almost an edge on the sides, and that's just for ferro rods to send a good spark. I mean, yeah, you can do it with your edge, but I cringe. I absolutely cringe. I also can only use, like, cutting boards. I can only use cutting boards that are plastic or wood. The glass cutting boards, I don't know who was thinking what they were thinking, but glass and steel don't mix. Might as well be just cutting on granite. Let's see. The other thing I did, this section right here at the choil was a little sharp, so I rounded that. This is personal preference. Some people cannot stand any kind of finger groove on their knives. They want small handles, or they want short handles. To me, this style of handle is perfect, especially for this kind of knife. I'll do a video also, this is video number 3, that I'll be doing on the different grips. I've got like 9 different ways that I hold this knife for various tasks, but to make it short and sweet, there's 3 grip sections. One for chopping, your standard grip, which actually I don't use very often, and a close in grip. I love that spike right there, and the reason is I feel like if I had to push into something, my hand's not going to slip. If your hand slips on this knife, or any other sharp knife, you've lost a finger, and nobody likes that. Today, we're in dry season now in Costa Rica, so if you can't tell, it's really, really windy. But it's also about my favorite time of year. So I forget the type of bolts that they use on this. But they're super good. The handle on these, the first layer, and I don't know if you can see the difference in the color, but you have the steel, then you have a black layer and a brown layer. The black layer is micarta. The brown layer on mine is Coca-Cola, and it's worked fantastic. The only other thing I added was this small pinky lanyard, and the reason is, turn this over, slide your hand through like this, and with close grip, it's just another way of securing my hand. And it's not, some guys like a really long lanyard. I don't, it gets in my way, but this right here I can use. It's no big deal, and I especially like it in the chopping grip. I feel like it secures it a little bit better in my hand. So I got this knife again in November of 2018. It's gone with me on trips to the Indian reservation, working with the ambulance down there. It's gone with me on camping trips, daily use on, if you guys are familiar with the Bushcraft USA forum, which is an amazing place, they probably get the best file of information or thread of information on trackers ever. They're called the Tracker Action Picture Thread, and it's amazing. Or Tracker Action Thread. The Bushcraft USA forum has a one blade January competition where you only use one blade for any cutting thing all January long. You only carry the one blade, and I did that with this. It worked great. I really enjoy using this knife. I really enjoy the options it gives you. It forces you, this design forces you to think outside the box on how you're doing things, and I'll have more information about that later. As far as cons, as far as negatives, because I love the steel, I love the shape, that's great. It is a tad heavy. It's running in at 21 ounces, so it's a little heavy. It's just a little long as far as for everyday carry. And I have actually several different sheaths that I've made for this, and I'll get into that later also. When it came with the original grind and the original quarter round, you know, I had to modify that, and I think that's personal preference. So I think Bark River did a great job on this. If you ever get one, you might be doing some modifications to yours as well, but it kind of depends on what you like. Would I buy this knife again? Absolutely. Like I said, this knife is the only style blade that has ever put my kukris in storage. And that's saying something, because I used kukris from the time I was in the military. Probably started in maybe '93, and that's all I've used since. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the first, and hopefully it edits out well. And I hope you got any information that you needed. And there'll be more videos very soon. Pura Vida.